I'm Rennie Curran, keynote speaker, leadership coach, author, and former All-American linebacker from the University of Georgia. Go Dogs! I know what it's like to compete on some of the world's biggest stages, lead a team, and pursue goals bigger than myself. I've also discovered how to live a life of purpose outside of the spotlight of sports, helping others realize their fullest potential through different seasons of life. From athletes making their transition from sports to organizations wanting to maximize leadership, teamwork, and performance. Today, I'm here at Supreme Lending's offices to guide you through what has been a monumental year for the Personal and Professional Best program, offering my own insights along the way. We got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get started. Best is waiting. I'll meet you there. The Personal and Professional Best program began in 2021 with the lofty goal that became the theme for Supreme Lending for the entire year, building a championship season in 2021 at home and the workplace, everywhere with everyone. On every team that I ever played on, from the Brookwood Broncos to the Georgia Bulldogs, the Tennessee Titans, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we started every season with a similar goal. No championship season is ever realized without starting with the goal to be your best and creating a powerful vision that the entire team is pursuing together. There's 6 areas of life that we all share: family and relationships, health and fitness, personal finance, fun and recreation, faith and community service, and finally, business growth. There's a reason that business is listed last. See, every area of our life impacts every other area of our lives. How you do one thing is how you do everything. How can we achieve a championship in business if we aren't getting better in every aspect of our lives? Championships are won when everyone on a team is pursuing their best in every area of their lives. In January, the Personal and Professional Best program brought on a special guest, Dr. Kevin Elko, a sports psychologist who has been a part of 32 different championships from the NFL to the Olympics and is currently helping to shape the mindset for athletes at the University of Alabama football program. Speaking of best, I love the way that Dr. Elko turned BEST into an acronym for a simple playbook of how we can all do just that.
BEST, big goals. I've given BEST to talk. Big goals, B, E, go learn to encourage yourself and encourage others. S, take your gifts and serve. T, there will always be tests. If you're not tested, it's not that big. That's why there will always be an attack in our lives if we're trying to do something good. After you had your attack, you have 2 things with the test. You either have a testimony or you have a bad case of pneumonies. We all get a test. And so when you talked about playing baseball, everything comes to faith. Everything does. You said you got to work hard. You have to work hard to get genuine self-confidence is what I heard you say. Well, you know, when Moses was going through the Red Sea, and I'll just say this, God didn't bring you through the Red Sea to let you drown in a little fish pond. So you're going through the Red Sea, all the water parts. But Josh was told that the water would part. And he got up to his knees and the water wasn't parting. He probably was looking up and saying, I thought the water parts. I think the message was, show me. Show me during this test. Did you believe that you and I together, you in this relationship, we're going to part the water. Show me. I don't want to hear it. Show me.
So let's run this playbook back one more time. B, big goals. E, encourage yourself and others. S, serve others. And T, there will be a test. As the Personal and Professional Best program moved into February, the focus was complete and total health, mind, body, and spirit. Dr. Ward offered insights into how we could sharpen our mental health coming out of a year of lockdown. Dr. David Rodriguez gave us tips to increase our defenses against COVID by maximizing our physical health with specific attention to reaching our ideal BMIs. Personal trainer Bobby Aldridge offered workout and diet tips, and Dr. Ike Reichert offered his perspective on ways we can increase our often overlooked spiritual health. With so much information, Pat was a busy man bouncing all over town. I love the creative way Pat avoided that rush hour traffic to get from guest to guest.
The problem we've got is that it's a long way across town and it's Friday afternoon, so we're gonna have to take a shortcut. Supreme Man's got his mind right, he's got his body right, now he's about to get his spirit right. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna blow right by traffic.
That was the best flight. No traffic at all, made great time. You could fly like that too. Join us at Personal Professional Best. I didn't get a outfit change for Dr. Ike.
Well, that's one way to beat traffic. With our health fine-tuned, March brought an opportunity for all of us to focus on our personal development and leadership. Personal and Professional Best brought in a very special guest, New York Times best-selling author and world-renowned leadership expert, John Maxwell. John shared a wealth of knowledge on how we could all leverage our influence to truly change the world for the better. I love when leaders can take a complex idea and break it down in a way that anybody can understand. Take a listen to the simple but memorable way that John Maxwell defines success.
John, I got a question to ask you. What is your definition of success?
I began to ask myself, what is success to me? And I came up with this definition that really works for me. And that is, success is having the people who know me the best love and respect me the most. I think that's success. Because, you know, I write books, but I could fake it out there, I guess. I speak on platforms to a lot of people. I guess I could fake it there. But you can't fake it at home. You can't fake it with your children. You can't fake it with the people who really know you. And when the people who know you the best love and respect you the most, I think that's a major statement upon who you are, what your character is, and you can go bank on that kind of a person. So that became my definition of success, still is. So for what is it, maybe, you know, almost 40 years, that's just kind of how I mean, success certainly I don't think is writing a lot of books or selling. I mean, you know, I think we go after. What we would call recognition of success, and don't understand that the core of success again is I think based on values and who you are as a person. I think that's more important than anything else.
Having the people that know me the best, love and respect me the most. That is success indeed. In April, Personal and Professional Best moved its focus to relationships, the most important part of all of our lives. What tools does it take to have a successful relationship? Well, there's 3 skills that those with the best relationships practice: service, sacrifice, and forgiveness. Horst Schulze, the living legend when it comes to service, offered insights on how to truly serve others in the workplace and at home. Supreme Lending's own Cheryl Fleetwood offered her perspective on the importance of sacrifice, while author and pastor Andy Stanley offered a definition of forgiveness that all of us can understand.
What is the definition of forgiveness?
Well, I think my personal definition for forgiveness, and I say personal, is certainly not original with me. You have to understand the context of what forgiveness is. And forgiveness, at its core, is really canceling a debt. And the reason I love this approach is when a person understands, because everybody's tried to forgive. I mean, you've said it, or I've said it, you've heard it. I've tried to forgive. Well, anybody who's tried to forgive perhaps doesn't understand what forgiveness is. So the best way of thinking of forgiveness is in terms of a debt. For example, somebody has, if you're angry with somebody or you feel like I need to forgive somebody, it's because they've taken something from you. They've taken a first marriage. They've taken the opportunity to tuck your kids in bed at night. They've taken your reputation. They've taken a season of your life. When anybody is hurt and is angry with somebody, something has been taken. And because most people can't put into words exactly what was taken. They never understand the debt that person owes them. So forgiveness just stays in this nebulous emotional realm. I'm angry and I'm trying to forgive. So forgiveness is identifying specifically what was taken and then deciding that person doesn't owe me anymore.
In May, our nation pauses to celebrate Memorial Day, a sacred day set aside to honor those that didn't just serve our nation in the military, but paid the ultimate sacrifice to do so. We truly owe these freedom fighters that have paid the price and their families our unending reverence and support. Sometimes we make the mistake of thinking that the only way to be a freedom fighter is through military service. However, whenever we help to lift up our neighbors and help them realize the promise of our nation that all men and women are created equal, we are also fighting for freedom. No one embodies this more than the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., who also paid the ultimate price fighting for all of our freedom. When Pat visited Dr. Bernice King at the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church in downtown Atlanta, we all heard insights on how we can all be freedom fighters, working together to truly be one nation under God. The secret ingredient to getting it right? Love.
It's going to start and finish with love, because love will,
That's what I said, love correcting
love will,
everything.
love will create the
Love is
roadmap.
the energy, it's the fuel, it's the force.
It's all of it, because it will hold us accountable to the standard that we need to be.
And as we work through some troubling spaces, I mean, my father challenged systems, but he loved the people as he challenged. That's why, and we teach in the philosophy of nonviolence seeks to defeat injustice, not people. So that's why certain things, when you see him, he is not trying to demoralize people, diminish people. He's not trying to win over them. He's trying to win them over.
The argument on social media, right? He did much better than that, much better than that, much more powerful.
Batter back and forth.
I'll leave you with this. We have in our office in Alpharetta on our wall, it's been on there for, since we moved into the building. Everyone can be great, because everyone can serve, right? And I think if we all replace the word serve, it's love, because service that's done well is really love. Hey, thank you so much for being a part of Personal and Professional Best today, and God bless you. And I want to give you a big hug.
Thank you.
Love truly is the key. The day before Pat visited with Dr. Bernice King, we sat down together right in this office. I shared with him the challenges I faced as the child of Liberian immigrants whose family escaped a country going through a civil war, as well as the times I've encountered the evil of racism. Pat listened to me and took the time to understand my perspective. We left that meeting not just as business partners and friends, but brothers. You see, love is the key. Too often we divide ourselves into different warring tribes. Speaking of tribes, the month of June brought someone who wrote the book on the topic to the program. Best-selling author and marketing expert, Seth Godin. He encouraged us to take inventory of the tribes we belong to and ask if they are truly helping to make the world a better place. He also talked about the best ways to build a tribe of loyal followers in our business. In a sea of mediocrity, how can we create an elevated standard of excellence to truly separate ourselves from the competition? That's what champions do. Seth Godin called it a race to the top.
What you sell is the ability to tell the other people in your circle, your family, your kids, whatever it is, I did the right thing by us, because I didn't try to save $50. I tried instead to do the right thing that will make this transition what we need it to be. And that choice is hard to make because we are surrounded by people who are racing to the bottom. And the problem with a race to the bottom is you might win, or worse, come in second, and then you get nothing. The alternative is to race to the top. But when you race to the top, most customers might not want to come with you because they live in a world where they've been indoctrinated into racing to the bottom. And that's fine. The smallest viable audience is the goal, not the biggest possible audience. Because if you say, we make stuff for everyone, if you could say you could pick anyone and we're anyone, you don't stand for anything.
Racing to the top, count me in. This past July, The world came together for the Olympics. As an athlete, I love the competition. Watching the world's best athletes come together to compete gets my blood pumping and ready to put on some shoulder pads and hit someone again. To get us all in the Olympic spirit, Pat Flood sat down with Gabby Douglas. Gabby earned herself the nickname of the Flying Squirrel at the London Olympic Games, where she became the first African American to become the individual all-around champion. Listen as she describes what it takes to compete and win as an Olympic champion.
What does it take? What did a day in the life of Gabby Douglas look like in preparing? First of all, you had to move to go live with a family, to be in a place to train. But then what does it look like every single day, the work that you had to do to become the best?
It's so interesting that you brought up that question, because we all see the finished product, right? Everyone sees the performances, the leotard, the glitz and the glam, but no one sees what's going on behind the scenes. And behind the scenes, it is a lot of hours. It is a lot of putting your body on the line. It's a lot of soreness and bruises and blood, sweat, and tears, literally. And so it took a lot. You know, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't come from money. Gymnastics is very expensive. You have to pay for everything. So my mom had to work. My mom and siblings had to take on a lot of responsibility. My mom worked so many hours, and it takes a village. You know, I couldn't have done it without my siblings, my mom, my coaches, the host family. But I went through a lot of challenges and obstacles, your normal wear and tear, injuries. Although I was very fortunate and grateful to not have too many serious injuries. I've never had surgery before. And I really thank the Creator for that, because He has just kept me safe and protected during a dangerous thing. But it takes a lot of heart and tenacity, and not only talent, but hard work combined together.
Great stuff. You know, I've always played on teams, but I can't imagine the pressure that Gabby must have felt all alone with the entire world watching. She is truly a champion. Speaking of champions, this next intro is gonna be a little tough for me. For August to September, Pat sat down with the 2021 SEC Championship head coach of the University of Alabama, Coach Nick Saban. Coach Saban shared about his childhood, the influence of his father on his life, the importance of finding a great life partner, and what has become famously known as the process.
Tell us about the process, define it for us so that we all understand it, because I think people that are in the audience today that are attempting to build a business, run a business, a family, talk about the process if you would for us.
Well, the process to me is just the definition of the things that you have to do to accomplish the goals that you have. So obviously, if you don't have any goals or aspirations or sense of purpose in your life, then how do you define the process of what you have to do to accomplish that? So that becomes the most important thing. What are your goals? What's your visions? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? And then define exactly what you have to do it. And then the next thing is, how do I have to edit my behavior to be able to do it?
There's no denying just how effective the process has been at the University of Alabama. But I am, and I'll forever be, a Georgia Bulldog, and that season ain't over yet. It's gonna be a challenge, of course, but I'm still hopeful that this could be the year that Georgia finally brings the national championship back to Athens, Georgia. During my time in Athens, I had the opportunity to be coached by someone who wasn't just a great football coach, but one of the best men I've ever met. He became like a second father to me, teaching me the importance of faith, family, and giving back to the community. For the past 2 months, Personal and Professional Best brought you exclusive insights from Coach Mark Richt on how to make the call in decisions in life that matter most, especially when facing adversity.
Well, first of all, you can't act like, why me? Because why not me? You know, just like I've got Parkinson's. Well, there may have been some things I did along the way from a health perspective that triggered something in my body that had Parkinson's come to life, you know. I don't know how that all works, you know. They say genetics is part of it, but lifestyle can affect whether you get it or not as well. So I'm not gonna say I didn't cause it, but bottom line is I've got it. And so what am I gonna do with it? I mean, the worst thing you could do is roll up in a ball and feel sorry for yourself. And because you need to exercise, you need to get rid of the toxins in your body, you need to sleep well, you need to have a positive attitude. I mean, all these things give you a chance to protect the dopamine that's left in your body, because that's what you lose when you get Parkinson's. You know, by the time you have motor symptoms, movement symptoms of Parkinson's, you probably had it 5 to 10 years. And probably 80% of your dopamine in your body's gone. So you got to protect what's left, you know. So you can't just sit there and cry about it. But the bottom line is this: if all I had to look forward to was eventually maybe becoming a prisoner in my body and all this type of thing that Parkinson's could bring, that's not a very good thing to hope for. But when I know I have this eternal destiny of getting this glorified body once I go to heaven, and a body with no sin and a body with no disease,
Wow.
to match the spirit and soul that I became when I chose Christ. I mean, when we become believers, our spirit and soul are made perfect in God's sight, and that'll never change.
That's some great wisdom from Coach Richt. You're seeing exactly what I got to live every day for years during my time as a Bulldog. Coach taught me so much more than X's and O's. He taught me how to be a better person. Love you, Coach. It's been such an honor to take this look back at the incredible wisdom shared on the Personal and Professional Best program this year. I'm looking forward to joining you all on the journey to best in 2022. Now, let's visit with Supreme Lending's head coach, Pat Flood, as he wraps up the program in 2021.
Simple, brilliant, best. The process. So what? Now what? Rennie, I'm so grateful that our lives crossed paths this year. I am. We're all better because you're on the Supreme Lending team. Another voice of inspiration, another life of inspiration. And even though we don't agree on everything, roll Tide, go Dogs, we do agree on what matters most, the pursuit of best. We created PMPB to inspire you, to educate you, and to serve all who encounter Supreme with a simple objective: to help you become your best. Like most bold ideas, PMPB had humble beginnings, a challenge to set big but attainable goals, and a monthly conference call to talk about becoming our best in every area of our life. Right from the beginning, lives began to change. People discovered a simple practice that all champions adopt: setting goals, creating a plan to get there, and as Coach Saban shared, editing the behavior that's holding you back. He calls it the process. That's right. Even though this program has grown to a monthly live stream full of incredible guests reaching thousands of people, Personal and Professional Best is and always will be simple, but simple can often lead to brilliant. Our humble beginnings 6 years ago led us to 2021 and a lofty goal that became our theme for the entire year: to build a championship season in 2021 at home, in the workplace, everywhere, with everyone. Our game plan? Inviting some of the best ever to share the wisdom they've learned on their journeys to best. Why? Well, if we want to be champions, we need to do what champions do. Some of you don't feel like champions right now. You lost your way in 2021. So what? Now what? Some of you made progress but still fell short of best. So what? Now what? Some of you played like, lived like you've never lived before at home and in the workplace, and as a result, you're finishing a championship season. So what? Now what? Regardless of how 2021 turned out for you, I'll remind you one final time of what Dr. Elko has implemented at the University of Alabama. So what? Now what? You see, champions are always striving to get better. Regardless of how your season turned out, there's good news. All of us can do better. 2022 is about to begin, a new season, a new opportunity for all of us to write a new chapter in our lives. I pray it's another championship season in your life, your best season ever. I also hope and pray you'll join us. We'll continue to do our part by inviting voices who've won championships in their own lives to inspire you, to educate you, and to serve you. Are you ready to do your part? It's simple and it's brilliant. Go to supremebest.com and enter our best GPS portal. And then enter your targeted destinations in all areas of your life. Once you do, challenge a family member or a close friend in business to join you and to become your accountability partner. Then, join us as we officially kick off building a championship season in 2022 at home, in the workplace, everywhere, with everyone in January with our special guest, once again, Dr. Kevin Elko. He's already won one championship in 2021. He might just win another by the time we meet. I pray that you have a blessed holiday season, and I pray that you join us in 2022. Simple, brilliant, best. The process, so what, now what? Best is waiting. Meet you there.